into the, you are now tuned into the, you are now tuned into the Fraudcast.
So, I have a story that I have to share with you and all of our listeners before we get in. Yeah. So, last couple days have been kind of a shit show. So, this is what happened. So, let me give you a little bit of backstory. So, last summer, after we had our beach trip, our family beach trip last summer, we booked a beach house for this summer for the wedding, right? In July, like it was in July, we booked the house, right? Different house than we stayed at last summer, but we needed a bigger house. We wanted an oceanfront. We did it a year in advance. We paid it off in full in January. Everything was good. Everything's hunky-dory. We're, scheduled all our wedding vendors, blah, 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 blah. Friday, we get a call from the real estate company, like the vacation management company, saying, oh, the house is no longer available. The owners have pulled it from the rental market. And so, sorry, we can refund you. So that's the call we got on Friday. Like, wait, what? We said, wait a minute, that's not acceptable. Like, we have a wedding, like, Now we're 3 months out, right? So there are no rentals available, much less the size we need oceanfront, right? Like, the alternatives they were offering us were like 2 bedrooms, like 6 blocks from the ocean. We're like, no, we need like 4 or 5 bedrooms. We have 12 people, and we need to be oceanfront. Like, we need something comparable. And so we did this whole thing on Friday, talked to a couple different people at the company. It's also important to note here that when we booked last summer through this company, it was Century 21 at the time, down in it's in Sneed's Ferry, but it's North Topsail Beach area. So it was Century 21, and it was Century 21 when we rented it for next summer. At some point in like September, it either merged or it was bought out or something happened where this other company named Treasure Realty took over. Okay, whatever, it's fine, no big deal. So we were on the phone with them and they're like, well, we just don't have anything else because, it's 3 months away and all the summer stuff is booked. We're like, yeah, okay, so what are you going to do? Like, we need a house, like we're supposed to get married. And then we have all these people with travel plans and vendors and deposits and all this stuff. So then I talked to one person who's like, well, let me talk to the owner. Let me find out what happened here. So I was like, okay, so that was Friday. Saturday, I didn't get a call. So I called them and I ended up talking to yet another person. And this person was, if it was possible, even bitchier and less empathetic than the other people we had talked to. And she was just like, well, no, there's nothing we can do. You're screwed. We can refund you. I mean, we offered you some alternatives, but you don't want any of those. We're like, yeah, because they're not what we need, Right. And, meanwhile, we're starting to get on other websites, all the vacation rental websites, trying to find something that will work, right? We needed oceanfront. There's a reason we booked a year in advance and paid it off in full in January, right? So that this wouldn't be an issue. And apparently it still was. So, and the person we talked to yesterday, like on Saturday about this, was like, I will not allow you to make me feel guilty about this. We've done nothing wrong. We can refund your money if you want.
Was there a contract involved in this?
There is a contract involved. I read it. I don't see anything that addresses the situation any way, shape, or form. That like allows them to do this or whatnot. I've started looking into it. So ultimately, I'll get to that in a minute. Ultimately, so we got on like the vacation rental by owners. We got on to, Airbnb, all of the different sites. We talked to a couple of different other real estate, realty companies to see if they could help. So then we started, okay, well, maybe we can change beaches. Let's look at other beaches. There's others nearby that would work. We don't want to have to change the date because of everybody's travel plans and the vendors and all that stuff.
Right.
And kids in school and all this stuff, but maybe we can change the date. Change the location. So we're looking at other beaches and still like impossible to find anything oceanfront. Ultimately, we found something that will work and it's a block from the ocean. It's like across the street. There's
Mhm.
like the ocean and the oceanfront houses. Then there is a like a road, and then there's us. So we can see the ocean. And we had to cross the street to get to the beach, but so it's not quite oceanfront. It's not exactly what I wanted. Not what we had last year, but and it's more, it costs more. But it was available our week, and it has like a pool and a hot tub and like this outdoor like bar area, which will be like perfect for like our reception, like
Mhm.
and everything. So ultimately, like we got this place and it's gonna work out and everything. But in the meantime, okay, so I'm a lawyer, right? So I started researching like this can't there has to be something, this can't be right. They can't just do this. Like there's, whatever. So I started researching this company, Treasure Realty. I'm going to say it as many times as possible so everybody knows. Treasure Realty down in Sneads Ferry, North Carolina. I started researching them. And if you look at like their Yelp reviews and stuff, their customer service is apparently horrible. Like we're not the only ones this has happened to. But then also it looks like we may have dodged a bullet because people who have gone to their rentals complain about how dirty they are, like they don't look like the pictures, like things aren't working, refrigerators aren't working, air conditioning's not working, all kinds of problem, and not getting like the kind of response you need and stuff. Again, this is not the same company we rented with last year, which is why like we had such a great experience with the Century 21 folks. That's why we rented through them again,
Right.
and then it switched hands and stuff, but whatever. So I'm looking at the contract. I don't see anything that addresses this. But everything's governed by the like North Carolina Vacation Rental Act, which I started looking up and looking through. And we actually, some of the other real estate people that we talked to said, okay, you should talk to the North Carolina Real Estate Commission and file a complaint because there's something not right about this. Like they have to honor there's some, and somebody said there might be something legal, whereas you're paid in full and you're less than a certain number of days out, like they have to honor it. And I mean, the problem is, okay, if the owner pulls it from the rental market, like I don't know what kind of contract the owner has with this company that allows them to do this. And what kind of recourse there is on that side. But like, I mean, there's got to be something that this company needs to do, right? Like they can't just be, okay, well, sorry, we'll refund your money and that's it.
Right.
So, and this is, it is costs more, than, and not by an insignificant amount, it's like several $1,000s more, which, I can absorb, but I'd already paid it off and I'd, been doing all this very careful wedding budgeting and planning and paying, as I'm paying the vendors and things like that. And so now suddenly I have to, come up with another, couple grand right now and throw that there and move some stuff here from there, and get it all to work out. But like, so actually a friend of mine, this girl who's actually like my niece, works part-time in between her semesters of law school. She works for a real estate attorney and in North Carolina. And so she's going to help me. She and the attorney she worked for, or we're going to figure out what kind of assistance I may need to file this complaint and all this stuff. I mean, ultimately we solved the situation. We have a place. It's going to work out. We're just going to get married on a different beach and stuff. And I just have to sort of shift my mindset, and actually the place we're staying now actually is nearer to stuff for like the kids, like, baby frauded and his girlfriend are coming, so there's more stuff for them to do. And there's going to be other kids around, family that are coming into town for the wedding and stuff. So there's more for them to do versus the other one, which was just sort of just beach and houses. And this actually has like a boardwalk and lots of restaurants and things like that. So I mean, it all worked out. It's going to, things happen for a reason. Maybe it's better off that we went with this Airbnb, who's like a super host, who has a fantastic reviews, linens are included, toilet papers included, like it looks like it's going to be a better. And we have this pool and hot tub and all this stuff. It's just a block from the beach and instead of being right on the beach. So that is how I spent my Friday and Saturday this week. Again, Treasure Realty, North Carolina. like Sneed's Ferry, North Topsail Beach. It's just north of like Wilmington, Carolina Beach area. So if you, they have like a monopoly on the island of North Topsail. If you have the opportunity to do business with them, just don't. Treasure Realty. Okay. Whew, okay.
You feel better?
I do. Okay, got it out. All right. That was my anxiety inducing stuff. And then I spent like 4 hours watching 90 Day stuff this weekend as well.
Ew.
I know.
4 hours?
Well, I don't know. Was it 4 hours? It was a lot. It was a lot. It was like Bears All.
It starts stacking up.
I had to catch up
to
on
more
the
hours than I
tell-all.
have available in a day.
Yeah, like I had to watch the catch up on the tell-all, and then I had to watch Single Life, and I had to watch, there was something else I had to watch that was 90 Day related. I don't know. And I haven't even watched the Happily Ever After that starts this week. That's already up on Discovery Plus. I haven't watched that yet. So I need to deal with these people from this season and get them out of my brain, except they're not going to get out of my brain because so many of them are on Happily Ever After. So
Well, that's what they want, right? They want you
to continue their stories.
They want you to keep following your favorite people.
Yeah. So how are you?
A lot less stressed than you. Apparently. So, no, I'm doing pretty good. I honestly have no complaints. I got the second injection of the vaccine, and it was okay for a couple days, and then I was kind of feeling ill the third day. But
you got Moderna, right?
I think so.
Or did you get Pfizer?
You know, people are probably going to be like, "Oh my God, you don't remember?" I think it was Moderna.
Okay,
but I'm like,
whatever.
I don't know. Whatever.
Whatever.
I don't really give a shit.
I know, right? It doesn't
like
matter.
there are a couple that I'm like, yeah, I heard something bad about that. But what is it? Johnson & Johnson's kind of having
they
some
paused
issues.
They paused it briefly and it's back on, which is good because that's the one like the younger kids I think can get.
Yeah, and it makes sense. You know, we're still learning. We're still learning shit about not just the virus, but the vaccine. So
right.
Yeah, it wasn't, you know, so this week I kind of was taken out, but I did a lot of work as well, you know, like work, 9 to 5 work.
Right.
That I had to kind of grit through, but it wasn't terrible.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I mean, I definitely felt some side effects from the second dose. As well.
The kid was sweet.
Aww.
Like, I kind of laugh because I'm like, wow, I've literally woken up early as he has every single day for the past year. And some days he actually chose to sleep in this week. So I was really happy.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. He's like, hey, I woke up at 6:30. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? What's wrong with you?
Nice.
You slept until 6:30. You waited till the sun started cresting. I'm so proud of you.
Do you have one of those like lights that's like green and red and he can't get out of bed and leave the room till it's like
No, I'm not like that. He's so independent that he'll get up and
do what he needs to do.
And do what he needs to do. Like he asks me too. He's like, I just want you to have like a fruit bar if I want a snack. I was like, oh, you want to get up and eat it alone? He goes, yeah. I'm like, okay. Is this like a 7-8-year-old thing where they want to get up and do it themselves? Like,
I don't recall mine wanting to be that independent thing.
Right? I'm just like, I don't mind waking up with you, but he's just like, no, I can do it myself. I'm like, okay. So I'm just like spying from the upstairs, like making sure he doesn't choke on it, but making him feel like he's independent at the same time. It's just kind of funny. It's a weird,
Yeah. Baby stepfrauded turned 12 yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Happy late birthday to her.
Thank you. She and she got a phone.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Her mom got her phone. An iPhone. I don't know which one, but her mom got her and her stepsister.
Okay.
They got a deal and something or whatever, and it's, that age. She's had an iPad for a while and stuff, but she has a phone.
But now she has connectivity. So
yeah. So we're very strict about her screen usage and when she can and can't use her screens and stuff, because otherwise she would just sit fixated on her iPad or the computer for 48 hours without stopping. So I'm sure we'll have rules implemented for the phone and stuff as well. But
watch those apps, because there's some interesting ones out there now.
Yes, for sure. That
unfortunately parents don't know about because they don't keep up with the tech savvy cycle of the world.
Yeah, there's some there was a podcast that I listened to. It was probably like a year or so ago now, so it's probably completely outdated, but that talked about a lot of these apps, your teenagers and apps and devices, this whole exact subject. And there was a bunch of apps I didn't know anything about. And of course, again, it's probably outdated by now, but
and they keep making them, and not to keep our viewers waiting for actual 90-day content too much longer. But
right.
There are apps that seem very nice, right? And there are those live apps, and the kids, I scroll through them and I see 9-year-olds, I see 10 and 11, 12-year-olds on there talking to adults, grown men who are asking them to do stuff. And we saw that on the news where I think it's like, it wasn't Live Me, it was like Big EO or something like that. But it's okay to be that type of parent who's like, no, you're not getting on that. Because these kids are being tricked into doing things they shouldn't, because they don't know better, even though they think they're old enough to know.
We have that conversation quite a bit with baby stepfrauded, because she plays online games, but we have very strict rules. She can only friend people that she knows in real life, and we talk a lot about like To Catch a Predator type stuff, right? Like the stuff you're talking about, like what do people say and how they groom you and build trust without you realizing what they're doing and stuff. So we talk about that quite a bit. I think it's really important to have those conversations on a regular basis. Sometimes she's like, I get it. And we're like, I don't care. We're talking about it again, because I don't think you can stress that stuff too much. You know what I mean?
Right. No.
Anyway.
Now streaming on PBS, Philly DA, a gripping new documentary series from Independent Lens. Will reformer Larry Krasner's agenda survive clashes with police and the courts? Philly DA on PBS. Stream it now on the PBS Video app.
So let's start stressing ourselves out about 90 Day.
Okay, so let's talk the second part of the tell-all, which was only like 45 minutes. Thank sweet baby Jesus. And I had recorded it on my DVR, which I could then fast forward through the commercials because it's not up on the Discovery Plus app, but it is on the TLC app. But if you watch it on the TLC app, you get commercials, and I pay for the Discovery Plus non-commercial version. So I was like,
right.
Well,
can I do a shout out, because this shows how lazy I fucking am.
Okay.
I have both apps, but I didn't want to open them. Okay. So I went to Instagram, because I know that at TLC Updates uploads a lot of good stuff. I'm just telling you, if you don't have both apps,
you get it.
You can watch things. You can theoretically, see what you need to see. There's my shout out.
There you go.
Thank you, TLC Updates. I know, I'm freaking serious. Like, I'm
not affiliated with actual TLC, right?
I don't want them to feel pressure or anything, but it's like, I'm glad when there are people who do that and do it so well, because it takes a lot of patience. Yes. And there's no commercials, and it's perfectly ordered. So, and I was able to kind of skip. I was like, oh, Tariq and Hazel, fuck that one. Let's go to the next one.
They didn't give us any new information anyway.
I figured out so. I was like, it's just going to be the same minty circle jerk, and I don't care to watch that. So
yeah. So let's start with them. They tried.
I didn't actually skip the footage, guys. I did watch it. So
There really wasn't much to watch, though. They cast a lesson in polyamory. I don't think it went over very well. The cast was extremely judgmental, and well, I would say the entire cast, but I think it was mostly, it seemed, Yara and Julia were like, oh my God, they're all having sex with each other. Oh my God.
I think, yeah, they seemed a little vocal on that, but I think it was more shock. Like, wait, you guys all did it together, but I think that pocket for critique was left open by Hazel's she seemed like she was just uncomfortable. And I think it was because it was the whole Minty situation, which is stupid in itself.
Yeah.
But like, she looks like someone who was not along for the idea, right? Like, he wants a third person, I'm just going with it kind of thing.
Although they try to make it like she's the one that wants a girlfriend.
Well, I just guess I'm curious to really know what it is. I mean, or she has, I mean, there still are boundaries. Just because you say, yes, I'd like a girlfriend relationship doesn't mean I'll take anybody. She obviously says, I don't want Minty involved in our lives. And Tariq, for some reason, is like hooked on keeping her as quote unquote just a friend when we know that's not what the relationship is.
Yeah.
Like, no one fights this hard for a fucking pen pal.
Right. Like, is she that important to you that you're gonna like cause this friction in your marriage? Like, no,
yes,
I don't. Yeah,
because
there's
it's
something.
Tariq. He thinks he's the most important person in the room, every room he walks into.
Right.
So yes, I think that he would hold on, thinking that Hazel is just gonna come around and be okay with it.
I think the cast got this one right though, when they were like, Tariq, just lose your number, man. Just delete it. Like, what the fuck?
Why are you holding on? I asked that question too. Like, why can't you, if you're such a good friend to Tariq, you should know this is causing issues in his marriage. And you go, hey, I'm your friend, but I don't want to cause issues in your marriage. So I think it's best we don't talk anymore.
So there's this, so the real reason is, you know, he wants her, you know, more than he's letting on.
I think he wants to keep in contact to keep his options open in case it doesn't work out with Hazel.
Exactly.
Because then the first person, I shit you not, he would text and run to will be Minty and say, it didn't work out. I want to try something with you. We all know that.
Yeah.
So that's why he's holding on, because he doesn't want her to move on. So that he can keep his plan B an option. She sees it maybe as, oh, okay, I might have a chance.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways, got that off my chest. I don't like them. I feel bad for Hazel because I see somewhere in her expressions that she's not 100% happy with how things turned out. But, you know, maybe there's other discomforts like being on TV talking about it.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That could be an issue. I wouldn't want that either. So, so, you know, it's been a couple months. Are you still using your recommended vitamins from Care of?
I am. In fact, I'm drinking a protein shake right now with the protein that they sent me because I am going to go work out after this.
Nice. Yeah, I took the online quiz and it was great. It recommended iron, and I'm historically iron deficient. So I was really happy that the questions that they ask really drilled down to identify what I needed. One of the best parts I really liked was being able to add additional vitamins if I wanted to at checkout. It didn't recommend it personally, but I know, as the rest of the world might, that I just need a little bit more D, little sunshine vitamin, little happiness, you know.
Don't we all? The online quiz had given me recommendations for protein powder, which I use in my protein shakes, and electrolytes for hydration, which I am historically very bad at drinking all the fluids that I need to. So having that extra boost has been really helpful.
I do like how they make it easy. All your recommended vitamins come in an individually wrapped packet. So, and even the powders come in packets that you can just rip and pour into your mouth, like I think the probiotic one that I picked out. I do like it because I can stick it in my purse. I can carry it upstairs in my office, and I can take them whenever I'm ready.
Yeah, they are definitely very convenient for that. And for Fraudcast listeners, you can get 50% off your first order with Care of. So for 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code Fraudcast50. That's takecareof.com and enter code Fraudcast50.
All right. So, let's take a moment for some real talk. We're in a pandemic now. I think we've been in it for like a year, actually, almost to the day.
Mhm.
How are you? Like, what's, how are you doing? What's interfering with your happiness?
The biggest thing that I've been dealing with in the pandemic, particularly early on, but still now, is anxiety, which came out of the blue for me because anxiety is not one of my go-to issues. Other ones, yes, but anxiety, no. So I have actually had to take a step back and learn some new coping techniques and mechanisms to help me deal with anxiety.
Right. And I mean, even right now, seeking therapy is a normal thing, right? BetterHelp
Absolutely.
is a great because I don't like traditional brick and mortar therapy. It doesn't work for my schedule. Like I don't want to have to drive to it.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't feel comfortable in face to face. Like I don't open up in face to face situations. So that's what's great about BetterHelp is because it's not a crisis line. It's a professional counseling service provided online and it's secure. There's licensed professionals who specialize in variety issues, including depression. And what I can relate to the most is stress, especially anxiety, because I'm juggling work. I'm a teacher. I do, homeschooling for my son every day, even the weekends. And I'm trying to establish some kind of work-life balance, in a pandemic. It's really hard.
When everybody's working from home and everybody's all up in your space.
Exactly. And, one thing that, for me, security, I feel like anything I share will be confidential.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if they're professional counselors, then you get the same kind of professionalism, but at a much more convenient and even affordable way by doing it through BetterHelp. And we want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/fraudcast. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/fraudcast for 10% off your first month. Okay, let's talk Andrew and Amira. Just get them out of the way because I
want to save them for last.
Okay.
Because I think that you think it's going to be a quick and done thing.
Okay.
Based on your past side taking.
It's not. There's a lot to this.
There's a lot.
There's a lot to unpack. Okay. Do you want to talk Mike and Natalie since they went to them again and they had this whole let's bring Sarah on bit and talk about this issue from two seasons ago? Or
I don't know if it solved anything, but sure. Yeah. It's like bring her on to accuse her of being unfaithful herself.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you take from it?
I feel like, why are they bringing this thing back from, resurrecting this particular argument from, 3 tell-alls ago or whatever it is
for content. And it's still not resolved. There's no closure on this.
Right. This should have been on the tell-all that they were on. This shouldn't have been on this one because it wasn't even from this season. But
she came up this season. Like that was a friction point for them.
The topic was right. Mm-hmm. So, did you believe Sarah or did you believe Natalie when Sarah said that Natalie told her, "Are all American women whores, or is that just you?" And Natalie's like, "I didn't say that," and she's like, "Yeah, you did." Do you believe Sarah?
I would believe Natalie would say that.
Yeah.
Natalie has said some crazy ass shit. And I can imagine that if she was super, super angry, that would come out of her mouth. Mm-hmm. She probably wasn't proud of it.
I don't think she cares.
But I mean, she has the belief that they slept together. She doesn't care that basically insinuates that Sarah cheated on her to-be husband the night before the wedding.
Right.
Right. Because that's basically saying that she was cheating on somebody. Mm-hmm. Just because Natalie perceives this situation as inappropriate doesn't mean anything inappropriate happened.
Right.
He was still sleeping. Mike fucked up. He shouldn't have slept there. He knew how jealous Natalie was. This isn't the first time that her jealousy has spiked.
But there,
It can't
he
be.
said that there was lots of people, several people that were sleeping there. He's sleeping on the couch, and I guess one
Yeah,
of the
but she wasn't there to know that. That's one thing, is you can tell me that Joe and Josh were at the party, but I can believe that they weren't, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess, and she was saying that when she was FaceTiming him, he had no shirt on because he was probably sleeping without a shirt on. And then Sarah's walking around in the background saying, "I'm going to get in the shower." So Natalie took all of those things, put them together, and said, "Oh, you guys must have slept together," which I think is an incredible leap to make. I think that's stupid to jump to that conclusion based on those as you would call them, data points or whatever, pieces of data. Take those and come to the conclusion that they slept together, I think is ridiculous. And for it to be still a bone of contention this long, like, obviously this is an issue. Even he could tell her till he's blue in the face, which apparently he has, that he didn't cheat on her. And even if he apologizes and says, "Look, okay, if you think the situation was inappropriate, I'm sorry, and it won't happen again." He could say all that, which I think he has, and then she's still mad about it. So what is he supposed to do? Not that I'm like Team Mike on this either, like on any of this, because he's got his whole host of issues, but like, what's he supposed to do in this situation?
Well, I think both of them should at some point agree that and make closure on the situation, right? Are you going to believe him or are you not?
Right.
And then you have to move from it. And every time you fight, you can't go digging into your sack of memories and bring everything up, right?
Yeah.
Because then you distract yourself from what you're actually arguing about in that moment.
Right.
Because you want to, what about this time? And what about this time? And I still don't trust you because of this. And it's like,
remember this time 4 years ago when you did that,
right.
Yeah,
if you can't get past those things, it's always going to be a problem in the relationship.
Right.
You're always going to resort to bringing up those
Is there
issues
anything
where you're hurt.
She needs to ask, is there anything he can say or do that would help her get over that issue? And if there's
I think they asked her that.
Yeah.
And I think she was like, no.
Yeah. So then
the only thing that would change her mind is if he just came out and said, "Sure, I fucked her." So that she can feel good and feel hurt and hold it against him and then move on and just feel good in her mind and go, "Yeah, he did cheat on me. I was right." It's kind of like, I think it's killing her that she could be wrong.
Yeah. So she keeps digging her heels in.
Right. It's like, you're not going to know unless you can have some time machine, some shitty ass. They should have did the shitty ass lie detector test on him.
I don't think there's any reason to suspect that they actually slept together. I think it's just, it's just her being crazy, as they've shown, and they have terrible communication. So she doesn't get the validation and reassurance that in the form that she needs it to be. And
right. Because confronting is only half the part. You can confront someone and say, "I want you to answer me." And then they answer. You have to accept the answer, continue to go on your, your tour of disbelief. I don't know.
Right.
With them.
And it's not going to work if you're going to continue to not believe them. You're just going to live in this place of like self-righteous anger. Like, that's not a place for a relationship. Like, that sucks. That's a terrible relationship.
Well, the great thing is we get to see what happens to them on the
Happily Ever After.
So,
which I have not watched the new episode yet. That's out. That's Sunday. That's going to air tonight.
I don't watch them ahead of time. I don't see the point in it.
So yeah. So as
unless you're super eager, sometimes I wanted to get like clips and stuff when I was like really, motivated. But
yeah, my point being that my discussion here is not colored by the whatever happens on the episode. We don't know yet.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what happens. So, yeah. So I guess we'll have to tune in to find out that.
Who's left? Did we do any more Yara and Julie?
Yara and Jovi. I don't think so.
We didn't talk on those two couples. Sorry, I was just calling out the ladies.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, I don't think we did any more with them.
I think that's why it was so short, because I'm like, they're probably like, there's nothing to talk about.
There's nothing more. And then Andrew and Amira, that took up so much.
Yeah.
So
All right,
tell me you go.
No, you go. You go.
Oh God. Okay. So we've said it before that he's a gaslighting asshole, right? And controlling. And if he can't control the situation in the exact way that he wants it, he's tried to control Amira that way. And we've seen his text messages, and we've seen the way he talks to her. And if you believe what she says about him, then there's that piece too about the way he's talked to her. And this, if you didn't believe anything else all season, the way he behaved here, I think, is really indicative of the type of person he is, which, he wanted to, he kept saying, we have to both be able to be there to talk to each other. Not like she can talk and then I can talk, but like he was insisting on being able to talk to her, which, he wants to be able to gaslight her and to, railroad her and all these things. And if he can't get that, then he's leaving. And he's trying to be all demanding with production. Well, this is how it's going to be. And even the language that he used, the word choice that he used, like, this is not acceptable to me. I will not do this if, XYZ, I will only do this like he's some diva, like he gets to dictate all the terms of the situation. And, this is not, he kept saying it wasn't fair and all this. And he has to be able to confront Amira in order for it to be acceptable to him. And, then him acting like, a child, tantruming off when he can't get his way, but he's making it all about him. And, I agreed with, you and I talked last week, I think, about, with them with her being in France and it being over on TV, like, was there really a harm to her to have him there? Would they each tell their side of the story? I don't necessarily think there would have been a harm there. Like, her just seeing him, she obviously got just talking about it, got very upset and all this thing. Should he have been there to be able to give his side of the story? Yeah, I would have liked to have heard what he decides to say to the public. But on the other hand, he's out there giving interviews to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, getting his story out there. So it's not like he has a lack of a voice of telling his side of the story. He just wanted to be able to control Amira. And
I think he just wanted to talk to her. I have a feeling she blocked him on everything.
Probably.
And it was his only chance to confront her and talk to her, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine how like angry you feel if someone blocks you and you can't get back at them, right? So you're like, if I can't talk to her, it's the same as being blocked, Mm-hmm. But what am I going to do? Just respond to you guys? But all the cast were kind of like, dude, hearing his side of the story would be great. I just don't think that TLC would have facilitated both of them telling their stories very well. It would have turned into him trying to call her out on what he believes to be her lies. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. How he has been. Like, he did a Twitch live the other day.
Oh, he did.
My only advice, if Andrew somehow stumbles over this, 90 Day Fiance people don't know what Twitch is. I did a poll. No.
And you would be the person.
I am a Twitch streamer, and I wondered who actually knows what Twitch is in the 90-day world. 6% out of the 10,000 people that actually interacted with that post knew what Twitch was.
Well, yeah. And he also, so there's
Go to YouTube.
Yeah. Well, he did an interview with our friend Max, the celeb talk guy. He did an interview on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So he's not having a problem getting his voice out there and his story out there.
But this Twitch was trying to go through, like, I think all the episodes to expose like what editing was or what, right? And I'm like, we all know that TLC edits heavily. That's not news for us. We all know, and we still keep watching.
Yeah.
So you're not going to bust open the lid on that one. Mm-hmm. Like, did you know that they edited the episodes?
To make it look a certain way? No.
Yeah, and to make it seem like they were saying things that they weren't actually.
Splicing sentences together?
Yeah, no. They do that.
What?
It's a really crazy thing that they do in editing. They put it in the contract, but I don't know how many people actually read it.
Yeah, that they put in the contract that they're going to make you look terrible. They do. We're going to embarrass you and
They
make
say,
you look bad.
we will embarrass you. It actually says that we will embarrass you. And I'm like, if I saw that, I would not sign it. Like, do they, what the fuck? I'm like, why? No, I wouldn't sign that.
I think we've talked about this
You couldn't pay
before.
me. You couldn't pay me the fucking measly $10,000. Like,
$1,000, $1,500 an episode that they
I
get.
make more playing video games. And there's no contract that says we're going to embarrass you. Embarrass my own fucking self.
Right. Jesus.
But yeah, that's why I wanted to save him for last, because I was just like, it's kind of laughable. Like at some point now, and unfortunately he'll probably feel this too. Now that a new season of something else is out, everyone turns their gears towards that.
And there he'll be forgotten about. And
they don't, the engagement that they have on older cast starts to decline.
Right.
And so I hope that he feels like he's getting out what he needs to. I don't think there's ever going to be this like, crazy backlash to Amira. You know what I mean? I think people are just kind of over it. Like
if there would have been, it would have already happened. And
like the people that don't like her already don't like her. Like I see a lot of people like bashing her looks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, they do that to all the cast.
Right.
All the cast members. So did we have anything else we wanted to add?
I don't think so. I mean, I want to say I'm glad that this season's done and dusted. There were a lot of things. I had a lot of high hopes for at least the new couples providing entertainment, when the season started. And I'd like to, I think it was fulfilled for the most part. But I'm glad it's over and done with. I want to be done with these stories. Unfortunately, we are going to continue to see some of these stories for better or for worse. We're going to see, Natalie and Mike on Happily Ever After. We're going to see Jovi and Yara on Happily Ever After. Are we seeing Brandon and Julia there too? I feel like, yes, they're going to be on it too.
I thought they said they were.
Yeah. And then I think we get Kalani and Asuelu, and we get Libby and Andre. And I don't remember who else, because I'm getting it all confused with The Single Life, which I also watched.
Right. But no, we had, you already said, what's her face? Angela.
Oh yeah. Angela and Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see Michael. We'll see. We're going to see Angela's weight loss journey as she goes through that process. And then hopefully we get to see Michael.
Hopefully. We'll see them tonight. So whoever's on, we'll see them tonight.
Yeah. For Happily Ever After.
Yeah. It's 7 hours, guys. 7 hours, 31 minutes, and 12 seconds.
For those of you on
set your timers
on the West Coast. Oh, I guess it's the same, right? No, 12:30. It's 12:30 here.
No matter what, it's in 7 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no time dilation for
space-time continuum. Oh God.
There's none of that happening. Only if you wanted to, but
my brain not working. Yeah. Anyway, so I think then that's all we got. We're gonna come together with a Patreon episode. It'll probably be 2 or 3 episodes put together for the Patreon, because we have a lot to cover over there. And
I would love a guest. We won't give it away, but I would love a guest.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
We would love a guest. We tried to get a particular guest today and they were not available. So we're working on that. And that is, if you want to join us over there, patreon.com/thefraudcast. We put out some episodes over there covering Bears All. We're going to start to cover The Single Life, which, oh my gosh. And which wasn't, the first episode wasn't as Ed heavy as I thought it was going to be. No,
it wasn't as crazy. I think, and it's interesting because I think that the later episodes are unrolling things, but most people are only talking about like the big Ed shenanigans that are happening right now. So okay. I think some time could be dedicated towards that because there's a lot of conversation.
And there,
but-
yeah.
But yeah, I really wanted some input from a certain person.
Yes.
So
and if you're
so
listening,
he can feel the pressure even more.
he you know who you are. We reached out to you today, but you were not available to
Probably
record
like,
today.
oh God, ladies, what? I'm like, what?
You're so wanted.
What?
You're so wanted.
We have so
Let
much
us know.
time. I will let him. I
Let
will
us
let
know when
him
you're
ask
free.
me one question from the forbidden question files if he comes on the show for Patreon.
Okay. You know who you are. Hit us up. Let us know when you can record and we'll get on with it. And we won't belabor that point any longer.
I'm good.
I'm good. Thank you guys for joining us. Please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode drop. And if you want to leave us a review, that'd be fantastic as well. Thanks for joining us. We are the Fraudcast and we're dumpster diving so you don't have to.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.